Welcome to the Yan Can Cook Show. Today's show I should call Mom Can Cook. When I was a little handsome kid growing up in China, my mother did all the cooking. She never let me into the kitchen. But without wok, I was a rebel. So I jumped right in anyway. See, that's me. I have such a good time with my wok that I still have the same wok. That was about 65 years ago. Today, I want to share with you a few of my mother's favorite dishes. Her first favorite dish I call braised cabbage and cellophane noodle, or you can call it bean thread noodle, or you can call it fan si. Nobody really cares. Flavor with dry shrimp. Okay, it's very easy to do. Here, I remember when I was a little kid growing up, my mother always said, eat your vegetable. I'm quite sure many of you, always when you're growing up, your mother always tell you, eat your vegetable. But my mom, in a true sense, doesn't have to tell me because I love vegetable. Besides, when I was a little kid growing up, I never heard of cabbage patch doll. So I play with the real thing. I love it. It's wonderful. Not only you can play with the darn thing, you can get rid of your frustration, and also you can eat the darn thing. This is they call Napa cabbage. But in China, they actually call Tianjin Dai Bak Choy, means Tianjin cabbage. It's grown a lot in a city called Tianjin, very close to Beijing, China. Here, I have cut up some cabbage. I want to show you here. I've cut up some cabbage, and I have 4 mushrooms. This is dry mushroom. The Japanese cuisine called shiitake mushroom. The Chinese called donggu. Anybody know how to say it? Donggu. Perfect. Unbelievable. Perfect. And then you soak it in water for approximately half an hour. Then you remove the stem. And then you can cut it up. Cut it up. Put it over here. Do it very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then transfer it like that. Put it right here. And also in this particular dish, I also use about 1 clove of garlic. So we'll cut it up and we'll mash this and go. See how easy? Nothing to it. You put it aside. And then I want to introduce you, this is fan si. In Chinese, we call fan si. See? Looks like this. You buy in packages like this. Can you see this? You can buy in packages like this in most Oriental grocery stores. Some of the department stores also carry this. Some of the department store, deli, or supermarket will also carry this. And then also, another thing I have is, I want to show everybody here, is a package of dry shrimp. You see, you start with a gigantic medium prawn or jumbo prawn, and you share it, and you get a ladder and get up your ceiling, get up to the roof, and you line them all up. You let it sit there for 2 months. Then they all shrink to little baby shrimp like this. They buy in packages like this. After you open it up, make sure you put it in a little airtight container, put it in the fridge. It will last you for approximately 6 to 8 months, up to a year. If you freeze them, it will last you for 246 years. Now, in the meantime, I want to heat up this little clay pot. Let's heat it up. Put a tiny bit of broth or oil over there. Put a tiny bit of oil. Put a tiny bit of oil. Let me get some oil. Tiny bit of oil, set it aside, and then make sure you also put a tiny bit of fan si. This is soak them. When you use the fan si bean thread noodle, a lot of time people don't understand why they call fan si. You soak the darn thing, you move them around, all direction. It's kind of fun to see. That's why they call fan si. I apologize. You see, and then when it's hot, all you have to do is put the cabbage and the mushroom, okay? The cabbage and the mushroom. This particular dish, you have to cook it for a few minutes. See? Put it over there, stir-fried it, and also put a tiny bit of dry shrimp. Put a tiny dry shrimp. Let it saute for a few minutes. Stir, saute for a few minutes. High heat, medium high heat. When you use this, you should not use very high heat because you might crack this clay pot. So use medium high. You might even want to use a diffuser. So stir it, move around, and then you put the fancy right on top. You see this? Never put on the bottom because it soaks up a lot of liquid. Okay, let's put them all back. Put a tiny bit of sesame seed oil, about 2 tablespoons soy sauce, and then we'll cover up and let it simmer. This particular dish, it takes approximately anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes to simmer. So we're going to set it aside. We're going to remove these and put it aside. And then, because the magic of television, and because we don't have time to show you and wait for 25 minutes, so I have done ahead of time one of these. Look at how gorgeous this looks. Look at beautiful dish. Now, all you have to do is garnish it like this, and then you are ready to go. Now, we're going to put this over here, and we are going to do another very simple dish. While I'm doing that, I'm going to heat up my wok with the bamboo steamer. I'm going to show you how to do my mother's next very popular favorite dish. Is called steamed pork patty. Here, I have all these ingredients here. Pork, fresh water chestnut. I want you to see the fresh water chestnut. I grown this in my little pond. And then, I also, I want to put it over here so everybody can see. When it's peeled, it looks like this, okay? Then you grind your pork. Now, in China, you do not buy the pork like we have here. You can buy hamburger patty, and you have to grind your own. So when you grind it, you use this. The idea is to achieve 2 purposes. First, you grind the damn thing. Second, you burn out 6 million calories. Now this is done. And then after that, you're going to put this in a bowl. You see? And then put up some minced chopped water chestnut, some mushroom, chopped mushroom, put it over here. And then you have also some chopped green onion. Now if you don't have enough, all you have to do is do some more. And then put them all together and season it with a tiny, tiny bit of wine, Shaoxing wine, sesame seed oil, and then the cornstarch, and then egg white. See this? And then you're going to mix it up with this. Look at this. I'm going to use a heat-proof container. I also want to remove this so we don't have to waste any space. In the meantime, my bamboo steamer is coming along really well. Put it over here, mix them all up, nice, homogenized, well seasoned. Okay? Also, you can put a tiny bit of salt and white pepper. Okay? Mix it up. And then put it right over here into this heat-proof plate. And then all you have to do is make it into a patty. This is how the Chinese play the patty cake. And how nice. And then you're going to steam this for approximately, when you steam it, make sure to remember the steam is coming up really high. Otherwise, it takes 6 years to steam the darn thing. Steam it over high heat. When it's done, it will look like this. Wow, look at this. How gorgeous this looks. One of my mother's favorite dish is this cured Chinese sausage. Earlier, I went down to Guangzhou Chinese sausage shop in Chinatown, and this is what I found. I would like you to meet Lam Ngap. cure or preserved duck. Lap yolk, cure or preserved side pork. Or this is my favorite. This is Chinese sausage. I call lap cheong. I remember when I was growing up, my mother fixed this every day. Can you imagine you eat this every day? Most of these are Chinese sausage or lap cheong made from pork fat, and sometimes duck liver. In this particular store, they even have beef sausage. It's delicious. Most of these come in pairs like this with the string attached. When you buy Chinese sausage in this form, you gotta make sure you buy the sausage with the string attached. Otherwise, it's not as good. Most of these Chinese sausage are preserved with salt, sugar, soy sauce, and Chinese rice wine. Of course, 80 proof Chinese rice wine. That's why it's preserved so well. You can keep this in the refrigerator for several weeks, up to a month. Or you can actually keep it in the freezer for up to several months, or 6 months even. When you prepare this, all you have to do is, when you cook rice, steam the rice, just like my grandmother has been doing it for 200 years. Today, I am going to show you how to make lap cheong, Chinese sausage. I hope I have brought enough for everybody here. This is about 6,000 of these. We can feed about 5 million people. In fact, I hope we have left over to send it to you watching at home. We're going to put it over here because if you keep it in the refrigerator, as I said, you can keep it for a couple of months. If you keep it in the freezer, you keep it much, much longer. One of these guys, most of these guys are much older than me. Not really. Nothing is older than me. Even my mother, not older than me. Now I would like to once again show you and teach you how to say this particular Chinese sausage. They say lap cheong, please. Lap cheong. Perfect Cantonese. You have made it. Now, this particular dish is very, very easy to do. I'm going to do chicken in clay pot with lap cheong. Okay. First of all, I'm going to slice this. This darn thing is so old. I'm going to slice it up thin so the flavor will come out. This is a slice of history. Slice, slice, coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up. Cut them all up, set it aside, and put it over here. And then also do some chicken. If I were you, I would remove the skin. But when my mother always loved to keep the skin because in China, you do not have to have, in your diet, don't have too much saturated fat, so you don't really have to worry about it, okay? I'm going to set it up. Also, I'm going to cut up a couple of these mushrooms. In the meantime, I'm going to heat up my nice clay pot here with a tiny, tiny bit of oil. I'm going to go and get some oil right here. Put a tiny bit of oil. Don't have to use too much, because if you use too much, you got to be in trouble. Because, let's put it over here. The reason is the sausage already have enough pork fat, so you don't want to use too much. It's very, very important not to do that. Cut it into a quarter, set it aside, put it here, put this stem, remove the stem, put them all here, and then also a little garlic. Look at how easy. Please come out, don't embarrass me, see? Put them all over here, put the garlic and a tiny bit of ginger. This particular way, you do it is, you don't even have to slice it. All you have to do is press the damn thing, put it over here. This way, you can pick the whole thing out. It's no big deal. And then, the first thing I do is put some Chinese sausage, about 1 sausage. Stir. The great thing about this kind of clay pot is not only you can use it as a cooking utensil, when it's done, you can serve the whole clay pot right on top of your dining table. See, everybody knows in China, there's no dishwasher. So, but they do. I mean, electric dishwasher. But they do have manual dishwasher. This digital dishwasher. We'll put this over here. We'll chicken. Wow, might as well. Some of you in the audience, when I talk about food, you get all excited. So might as well cook a little bit more. What do you think? More. And also, I want to use about 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of bamboo shoot. Okay? And some green onion. Put them all together. Of course, you don't want to put this bamboo and mushroom stem. Might as well put them all in. Might as well put the whole thing in. Stir, stir. Can you hear the sizzling sound? Use medium-high heat. So if you want to cook it for a long time, simmer, you might want to put a little diffuser so it won't crack. Very important. We're going to let it sit. The seasoning, I'm going to put it very simple. 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon of soy sauce. A tiny bit of Shaoxing wine. Wow, look at this. And also, this is very exotic. This is fermented soybean curd, red soybean curd. I crush this a little bit, and then I mix them all in, and I put it right over here. And then I also want to show you, we're going to put a tiny, tiny bit of sugar and white pepper, about 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, a dash of white pepper. And then we will cover this up by putting about 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup of this wonderful, nice chicken broth. And we will cover this up and let it cook. Okay? Why I'm cooking this? I want to show you some of the things that you probably haven't seen. Many of you have never used or are familiar with clay pot. So today I'm going to show you what they are, how to choose them, how to take care of them. Here, I don't know how many of you have ever seen this before. This is a Chinese clay pot tea kettle. This is a kettle. You put the water inside here, and you hold on to the darn thing, and you pull the water out like this. The most important thing is don't drop the darn thing on the floor. And then you have little baby clay pot like this with one handle. Inside there, it's got like enamel, like a glaze like this. It's left free, so the food does not react with it. And then you also have this one, about the same size, but with 2 handles. So you can have 1 handle, 2 handles. This is a bigger one. This is medium size. And then you can open it up like this. And it looks different color, okay? And then you can have another handle, but you can open it up like this. Look at this. It looks like this. Can everybody see? It looks quite interesting. Particularly when it's empty. This is the granddaddy. This is for soup or for casserole. Particularly when you have big family, this is perfect. This is a soup pot. They make from clay and sand. So that's why they sometimes call clay pot. Sometimes they also call sandy pot. When you go to a Chinese store in China, when you buy this, the way that you want to test it, you put it in a bucket of water to see if there's any leakage. Another way to put the water here, they see no water seeping out. This is how you test it. And also, make sure when you use this, soak this in water overnight. Okay, so they're saturated with water. And then when you use it for cooking, make sure you start with medium heat or low heat and then gradually increase it. If you are doing something large portion, if you want to cook a little bit faster, I'd rather you cook it longer rather than use high temperature. If you're not quite sure whether it will break or not, make sure to play safe. Put a little diffuser on top of the stove. Now we're going to take a look at how gorgeous. You got to check this. It looks marvelous. Look at this. This is beautiful. Everybody in my family, my mother, my brother, my uncle, everybody, my family, especially my mother, loves seafood. The wonderful thing is when you cook seafood, it's very, very good in protein, nutrition, and yet very low in calorie. And you can cook it any way you want. The next dish is my mother's 4th favorite dish. It's called steam and braised. You can steam or you can braise. This is a braised whole fish with a very unique pork sauce. As I said, this is my mother's 4th favorite dish. Here, I have 2 fish. Now, it depends on where you are. You can use any fish. When I was growing up, we have catfish, we have yellowtail, we have all kind of fish. This happened to be trout because I found this in the local fish market. So we use trout. Now, in order to do it and make it cook a lot faster, what you should do is you could slightly score this, but it's not necessary. Score this a little bit, score this a little bit. So the heat penetration can go through it a little bit faster. So you do not have to take so long to cook it. This is one, and this is another one. If you do it for 2 people, you use 1 whole fish. For 4 people, you use 2 whole fish. For 6 people, I don't care how many fish you want. And then the next thing I want to show you is we are going to slightly sprinkle this with a tiny bit of salt and pepper. You see this? Salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. Turn them around. Salt and pepper. Do it all together. Exercise. And then dredge these with this flour. Now, the great thing about this is if you don't have this, like me, I always carry one of these designer dredging bag around. I always have it in my pocket, so when I need it, I take it out. Sprinkle a tiny bit, dredge it around, dredge them around. In the meantime, I'm going to heat up my frying pan. I'm going to introduce you to my pan. This is Yan's pan. And the next step is we're going to use a tiny bit. I'm going to wipe my hand out to make it nice and clean. Put a tiny bit of oil here. And then we are actually going to braise this a little bit. Brown this first. Now, this is very important. I'm using a very unique cooking utensil here. This is a non-stick frying pan, or you can call it a skillet. In the meantime, I'm going to get ready another frying pan, and I'm going to do some pork sauce. Here, I have all the seasonings, soy sauce, sesame seed oil, and cornstarch, and some green onion, and then some of these ginger. The fish is getting wonderful. Put them all together, set it aside, because we're going to make a nice sauce. Also with a tiny, tiny bit of this soup stock. You can use fish stock, or you can use any stock. Turn them around. Make sure you use medium-high heat so you won't burn the damn thing. And then, otherwise you're going to have not only have stuck, but burn stuck fish. First of all, we will use a tiny bit. Let me get a tiny bit of oil. Put a teeny, tiny bit of oil. Now this is a very, very unique cooking surface. You notice that the cooking surface is not perfectly level. It's got a little groove. The idea of doing that is this cooking, non-stick cooking surface will last for a long time, because even though the top, the little peak, get a little scratch, the bottom will still stay there. So this will last a long time. And then we'll put the pork, and we'll put and make sure stir fry. Stir fry. And then, in the meantime, I turn this. Wow, perfect. Perfect, nice and brown. Look at how gorgeous this fish is. Okay? Turn it around. And then put all the seasoning in. Wow, look at this. All the seasoning in. Soy sauce, cornstarch, and a tiny bit of home mixed soup stock. Oh, gorgeous. Let's remove all of these. Make a sauce. And then when the fish is done, the fish is done. Make sure you cook about 3 to 3.5 minutes on each side. Okay? When the fish is done, you will transfer the fish, slide the whole thing right over here. Look at how beautiful. 1, beautiful. 2, and then the pork sauce is also ready. When the pork sauce is ready, you transfer this and you put a tiny bit of pork sauce right over here. And it is so beautiful. I think everybody can learn how to do this. This is my 4th favorite dish from my mother. Now, I want to remind all of you, all of these dishes are my mother's favorite. I'm glad all of you today get a chance to share with me. And in fact, for anybody here, if you're interested in getting more of my mother's favorite recipe, please, for recipe, write to my mother, Martin's mom, 中國廣州市東山區廟前節街18號3號林少珍收. I hope you'll read Chinese because all the recipe you'll receive would be in Chinese. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you so much for coming to the studio and see us. And I will see you again soon. And if Yan can cook, so can you. Join in.